Hello friends and welcome back. In this lecture we are going to discuss about abstract classes in Java. So abstract classes is an important concept in Java and we will understand it in this lecture. So abstract classes before abstract classes we have to understand about abstraction process. Abstraction is the process of hiding the implementation details. So by meaning that you will hide that whatever the code which has implemented that code we will hide from the particular user. So only what is required for a particular method we will define like that. For example, consider a system of a car and a brake system. So the brake system in a car is very complex. So you have to have multiple operations running simultaneously in order to work the braking system. But the user is provided with a simple brake pedal so that the user can press the pedal to apply the brake. He don't need to worry about how the complex is the braking system. So that is a abstraction process in which we will hide the implementation details, only provide what is necessary for the user, so the user will have a better user experience. Next thing to mention about abstract classes is abstract classes is declared with the keyword abstract. So if you provide an abstract keyword before the class, then that class will become an abstract class. And one more thing is abstract classes can have non-abstract methods as well as abstract methods. So they can have 0 to 100 percentage abstractions. So if you keep all the methods in a particular abstract class as non-abstract, then there is a zero abstraction occurring. But still, a class will be abstract class if you declare with an abstract keyword, and we cannot instantiate that particular class only when we create an extend the abstract class and create the implementation for the uh, particular methods, then only we will be able to achieve object creation and all the other things. And one more thing is if other methods are there in the abstract class, we have to declare them with abstract keyword. Methods should be abstract methods. And one feature I already explained is like if an abstract class contains all non-abstract methods, still that method will be this that class will be called as abstract class, and we cannot directly create object. Only through extends relationship we can able to create the new object for the particular class. So this is a way of Java to make sure that a class will always will be extended. And no, the and that's it for this section. Now let us see some programs based on abstract classes in Java. So in this program, we are going to see about abstract classes in Java. So abstract classes is a key concept in Java which we need to understand. So we are already mentioned about the abstraction process in which we will hide the implementation details from a particular user. So here in this program, we are going to use the abstract class concept. So we will have a shape as well as a different kind of shapes such as rectangle and circle to implement that abstraction relationship. So first thing which will have is an abstract class which is called as shape, which is the abstract class we are going to implement. So the first one, the thing is to understand about abstract classes is they are declared using the abstract keyword. You can see here abstract class name, like that we have to provide. And in this abstract class we can have non-abstract methods. So the call shape is a particular non-abstract method inside the particular abstract class. And we can have abstract methods. So abstract methods will start with the abstract keyword followed by the method name and the representation parenthesis. And this method you can see there is no implementation, no brackets to open brackets. There is no implementation for this method in this particular class. This is how we'll declare an abstract method. So it doesn't have any implementation. Now let us see the classes where I will extend the particular class and provide implementation for the draw method. So here we can see a rectangle class. So rectangle is a type of shape. So I will extend the particular shape class to provide that relationship. And I will override the draw method. Inside the override draw method means I am providing the implementation of the draw method for the draw method in the particular rectangle class. And in that draw method, I just print out the particular message like area calculation formula of rectangle length into breadth. So like that, I had put the values of the draw implemented the draw method. Now let us see another class which will implement the shape class. So here we have circle class. The circle class also extends the shape class. That means the abstract class shape will be implemented in this class again. So this is how we will implement here. Here the area method is again implemented, and here I am provide the implementation like pi into r in radius into radius. That is the area calculation formula for circle. One more thing to notice here is if I am not implementing the here in this level of code, if I am not implementing the draw method, I can make this class also as an abstract class, and next class which will extend this particular class can implement the draw method. That's how we can pass down the particular methods down the line. Also like that we can pass the abstract methods in a chain of inheritance. So like that also we can follow a pattern. So now let us see the main method where I am invoking these classes. So here in the main method I have created the objects of a particular rectangle and circle, and I'm calling the particular methods of shape, call shape and draw method respectively. And this is how we will have to create the instantiate the uh, how we will create the object of abstract classes. One more thing to notice is that you cannot create a shape object here. So the shape is an abstract class, so you cannot instantiate the shape class. Even though it is abstract classes doesn't have any instantiation, but it can have constructors in the code. So abstract classes can have constructors, and let us see the output of this program. Here you can see the output as came. The area formula for rectangle and circle is getting printed. And that's how this abstract class concept is. And now let us see another program based on abstract classes. Now let us see an example in which there is an abstract class without any abstract methods. So here you can see I have created a cup class. So the cup class is an abstract class. It doesn't have any abstract methods, but it still will be an abstract class if you declare with the abstract keyword. So the purpose of this class is that you always has to extend this class. You cannot use this class directly. Always you have to extend the class, and then you have to create an implementation of this class, and then only you will be able to use the particular class. So here we will go to the implementation of this particular class. So here we can see this is our class, and this is the implementation of the particular class, which is cup class will extend the glass cup will extend the cup class and provide an implementation. Here I am overriding the clean method and providing an implementation of the clean method. So like that we can override the particular non-abstract methods also by using this inheritance relationship. Now let us see the output of this program. So here you can see it is printing the message. The overridden code is printed for the clean method. So this is how abstract classes can have non-abstract all the methods non-abstract, and still it will work. So now let us wind up this lecture. In this lecture we are seeing about abstract classes in Java, which allows abstraction to occur in Java. So we can hide the if you are not having an implementation of a particular method, you can make that particular method an abstract method and make the particular class an abstract class, and make the users to other users to implement your particular abstract class, and then provide implementation of the class of your particular abstract class, and then use the class. You cannot use directly an abstract class, you cannot instantiate a abstract class, but you can provide an implementation by extending the particular abstract class and then overriding its methods to create the particular implementation. So that's how abstract classes are there in Java. Thank you for watching this lecture. Hello friends, and welcome back to the lecture series. In this lecture we are going to discuss about interfaces in Java. So what are interfaces? Interfaces are certain constructs which allows 100% abstraction. So in interfaces we can have abstract methods, and these abstract methods will be implemented by the classes. So this is how the interfaces concept is. And one thing to understand about interfaces is that after Java 7 there were some major changes to the interfaces. So interfaces was allowed static and default methods. So the default methods in an interface will be declared by using the default syntax. And in Java 9 there was another change in interfaces which allows private methods to be having in interfaces. So these new functionality provided like interfaces to have more compact structure, and it allows us to and allows interfaces to have its own methods, and we can write more good code based on interfaces. And one more thing to notice about interfaces is we have already seen it is interface keyword we have to provide to declare a particular interface. So now another thing it is meant to mention about interface is that an interface can extend any number of interfaces. So this is a very good feature which allows multiple inheritance in Java. So if a interface is there, it can extend any number of interfaces. So that means it can take its own other interfaces methods, and it can extend the relationship. Now, next thing you just need to understand about interfaces is a class can have multiple implementations of multiple interfaces implemented. So a class can implement multiple interfaces, which means more than one interfaces we can provide an implementation in the particular class. So by that you will be able to have the type of the particular interface to be used with the class, and we will see with the practical example. At that time we will be able to understand. Now let us see the syntax of interfaces. So here is the syntax: interface keyword followed by public interface name, followed by the particular abstract method which is inside the interface. So interfaces are, as discussed, will have private, default, and static methods also possible. So we will discuss about that in the practical for this session. So let us see the practical for this session. Now in this program we are going to see about interfaces in Java. So let us see the program. So I have an interface which is called as calculator interface. So how I created interface? This interface is right click on the package and create new interface, like that in Eclipse IDE. So like that I have created this particular interface. So this interface has some fields. You can give the field static field, or you can give, and you can have static members and private members, as well as the default methods inside the particular interface. That is possible. So to test it out I have printed these messages, and after that I have abstract methods also, multiply and add. These two methods are there for implementation by any other child in a class. So let us see the implementation of this particular interface. So here is a my calculator class which will implement the implements. You can see implements. particular interface. So like that we have to do the implementation of the particular class. So this is how we will implement an interface. And here we can see I had overridden the methods add and multiply to create its own implementation. If you don't provide implementation, it will throw a error. So we have to provide the implementation. If we implement a particular interface, we have to provide implementation of all the particular interfaces method abstract methods. We don't need to implement any default methods and all that is already implemented in the interface. And after that I have created a separate method for the particular class also, so that we will be able to understand how this interface how we can create using interfaces. And here you can see in the main method of this program we have created the reference variable for this will be of the type interface, and the object will be of a particular my calculator. Like that you can create interface of objects, objects of not interface, objects of the implementation of the particular interface. And here we can see I am calling the particular static and default and private methods of the particular interface, and it is getting invoked. And 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 after that I am creating an object of a particular class which implemented the interface my calculator. And that calculator class is calling its own method which is accessible through only through that class object. You cannot access it using the interface reference variable. So you have to create the class object that then only we will be able to access the particular function method. And this is how the program. Now let us see the output of this program. So here we can see the output scheme. So the particular in public default and private methods are getting called, as well as the method from the my calculator class also is getting invoked. So this is how we will write interfaces in Java. So interfaces are, as you seen, can have public methods, private methods, private methods, public abstract methods, in default methods, and as well as static methods. So that is how the interfaces. Now let us see another program based on interface. Now let us see a program on interfaces with the abstract classes together. So in this example, there will be both the interfaces as well as abstract classes in the program. So let us start. So this program is having an interface which is phone interface. So phone interface has one single method make call. So that this is a abstract method, but we don't need to declare them abstract also. It will automatically will be abstract for in interface. Now let us see another interface which will extend this interface. So here you can see another interface which is smartphone, which extends the particular interface. So this interface, why like this, we this interface will call as the child interface of the phone interface. So like that the relationship will be. So we can extend any number of interfaces. Here I am extending one interface, but you can extend any number of interfaces. Then all the methods from that interfaces will be available for this particular interface also. And like here in this interface, I have a method called as send mail. So this will be an abstract method also. Now let us go for the next implementation of this pro example. So here we have Android phone. This is another this is an abstract class which will implement the particular child interface phone as a smartphone. So this smartphone is a child interface of phone, and this uh, Android phone is an abstract class which will implement the particular interface. So like this also we can have a mixture of abstract class as well as interfaces together. And here you can see I am implementing the interfaces And if you do make your class abstract, you don't need to provide the implementation of the all the interface methods. And like this also we can write code. And here in this have I have only one method which is video call. So let us see the implementation of all of these interfaces and abstract classes in the Vivo class. So this is the Vivo class which will ex extend the abstract class. So if you have to write like this, you don't need to write implements. You have to write the extents of the particular abstract class, and like that we have to write. In Java only we can extend one class. We for interfaces we can extend any number of interfaces, and in this I had provided the implementation of all the methods with some printout statements. So it will print the messages into the console, and after that in the main method I have provided with created the objects for the particular class, and I am calling the particular methods each one by one to check whether how it is working. Let us see the output of this program. So here you can see the messages are printed correctly one by one, and that is it for this program. So in this program we are seeing about how we can use interfaces and abstract classes together to form a complex relationship. And in this lecture we are going through interfaces in Java. Interfaces are very cool key concept in Java which allows us to have non-abstract abstract abstraction feature in Java. So we please try out some more examples based on interfaces and learn more about interfaces. Thank you for watching the lecture. I will come back with another lecture. Hello friends, welcome back to the tutorial. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about final keyword in Java. So final keyword is a keyword which is used to have achieve certain functionality to our code. So let us see what are the features of final keyword. So the first one is to understand is if you use the final keyword before a variable, then that variable will not be we cannot change the variable's value after it is initialized. So if you declare a variable as final, that means it will work like a constant. You can change only what initialize it only. You can never change the value once it is initialized. So that's how final variables will work. So usually Java constants are declared using final and static. So that is the way of declaring constants in Java. Next thing is the final when we use the finally in a method. So if you before the method name if you use final, then that method cannot be overridden. So if there is an inheritance relationship and we are overriding the particular you are trying to override the particular method, then that method will not get overridden. It will throw an error. So that's how final variable final in play in the in front of the method. If we use how it will behave is like that. So next one which we need to understand is final classes. So if you use final keyword before the class name, then that class will be final, which means that you cannot extend that particular class. So you cannot have an inheritance relationship on that particular class. That class will be the final class. If there is a hierarchy, if there is a multi-level inheritance, then that class will be the final class. You cannot extend the particular class. So the final classes are used everywhere to make sure that you don't inherit the particular class and create a subclass like that should not be created for those classes. You will use the particular final keyword in front of the class name. So that's it about the theoretical knowledge which we need to understand about final keyword. So let us see some practical programs based on it. Now let us see a program based on final keyword in Java. So final keyword we seen how to use final keyword in this lecture we will see. So here is a class which is final. So we can declare final class as final like this. So this means that you cannot extend this class. So if you try to create a subclass extended relationship with this class, it will compiler will throw an error. stating that this final class cannot be extended, like that it will throw. And next thing, which is this class has id and name, and another constant field college. So this is a final field. So if you declare a final variable, you can initialize it once in the constructor. So if in the constructor part we can initialize it once, and we can provide the particular value of the particular field, or either you can directly initialize it when you declare it. At that time also you can initialize the final variable. So like that also you can provide. So after the constructor, now let us see a final method. So the print student method will print the student details. So this is a final method, which means that if you this is a final class, so you cannot extend this class. If this class was not final, at that time if you extend that class and create a subclass, that subclass will not get this method as an overridden method. So this will not be part of the inheritance relationship, this method. So this is a usage of final in front of a method. So here in this method, I am trying to access, if you see, I am trying to access the final variable and again reset the value, but it is not possible. The compiler will throw an error stating that this final cannot be modified. This final field cannot be modified. So that's how this final method, final variable, and final class is working. Now let us see the output. In the main method, I simply printed the message, calling the particular message student method, and then printing the message. And now let us see the output of this program. So here you can see the output as came, id, name, and college has been printed. So this is how final keyword is working. So in this lecture we are going through final keyword, how final keyword can be used in front of a variable, in front of a method, and in front of a class. So what are the features which will it will make. So thank you for watching this lecture. Please continue watching the series to learn more and grow your knowledge. Thank you for watching. Hello guys and welcome back. In this final lecture of this section, we will discuss about sealed classes and interfaces, which is a feature which was previewed in Java 16 and 15, and it was released as a standard and feature as in Java 17. So let us discuss about sealed classes and interfaces. So sealed classes and interfaces are a way of making fine-graining the inheritance relationship. So inheritance relationship is a we seen how we can inherit, but in using sealed classes we can restrict our inheritance. And before these sealed classes there was only final modifier and the packages to restrict the classes from inheritance and control the inheritance through like that only. So we seen the final keyword in the last lecture. Final keyword, if we use then that particular class will not be extendable, or we cannot create a subclass of the particular class. So sealed classes, what it will do, so sealed classes brings about a new keyword which is a sealed keyword. So if we declare a particular class as sealed, and following to that you have to have a permits clause, or you have to have other classes which have defined in the particular compilation unit. So that means the same class file you have to declare other classes which will which will extend the particular sealed class. So I'll explain it one by one first. The first thing which we need to understand is permit clause. So permit clause was introduced so that we can permit a set of classes which will extend the particular class. So if you write like sealed class, sealed class for example sealed class shape which permits rectangle and triangle. So like that if you put that means the rectangle triangle class only will be able to extend the particular sealed class. So the sealed classes are like that. And one more thing about sealed classes is if you have a class which will extend the sealed class, that class should either be sealed, non-sealed, or final. So the three options are there for a child class of sealed class. So this should be having these types. So important to understand is that non-sealed is a means we are again opening up our code. That means that class will be able to be extended, and we can create more child class from it. And one more thing about shield classes are that all the classes should be in the same module. If it is in the same class file, then you don't need to use the permit clause itself. You need to have to extend the particular shield class. So we will see in the practical example how we can extend and create the shield classes. This interfaces means in case of interfaces or shield interfaces also is there. So in case of shield interfaces, we can implement only a particular set of classes can only implement the particular interface. So if you declare a shield interface, then only a set of classes can implement the interface. That's how the shield interface will work. So let us see a programs based on the shield classes and interfaces. Now let us see a program based on shield classes in Java. So shield classes is a feature which is in Java 17. So you have to have the Java 17 to in order to run this program. So here is the example program of a shield class in which the class which we are going to shield is like a shape class. So a shape class can have a rectangle, triangle or circle kind of a classes only. So these three are the only permitted classes which can extend the particular class shape. So like this strong relationship is created. So these three classes can only inherit the particular shape class, and the shape class has a method of area. In that I'm printing out simply shape like that message I'm printing. Now let us see the other classes which is implementing this extending this particular shield class. So here is the rectangle class. So then the rectangle class I am overriding this. You can see this is a shield class. So that means this class should either be having a permit clause, or if this class this class should either have a permit clause, or other classes in the same compilation unit should extend this class. So here there is a square class which is extending the rectangle class, and which is a final class, which means this you cannot extend further after the square class. So the square class is the last class in this hierarchy. And you can see I'm printing out the messages of particular area calculation formula for rectangle and square. And let us see another classes in this sealed class relationship. Now here is a non-sealed class which is a circle, which means you can have create another class. For example, you can create a class oval which can extend the circle class. So non-sealed means we can extend the particular class. Final means you cannot extend the class, and sealed means you are again creating at the same hierarchy. You want to seal the class for a particular set of classes, like that only the relationship will be. So the child class of a sealed class must be either sealed, non-sealed or final. Now let us see the other class. So this is a triangle class which is a final class. That means the extension will end here, and in this also I am overriding the area method. Now let us see the main method of this program. So here is the main method. So here I am creating the objects of particular classes, and I'm calling the particular methods or area method of each class one by one. So let us see the output of this program. So here you can see the output. So the shield classes are printing the particular area method for area, followed by whatever the formula for rectangle, triangle, area, square, and triangle. All the formulas are being printed. So this is how the sealed classes is working in Java 17. So sealed classes allows us to have a complex relationship which is like we can allow a set of classes to only extend a particular class. So that's it for sealed classes. Now let us see another program based on sealed interfaces. Now let us see a program based on sealed interfaces in Java. So sealed interfaces are used to restrict the inheritance and create a strong relationship. So here you can see sealed sealed interface, main interface is the sealed interface. So here I'm not having any permit clause, which means the same compilation unit within the same class file, within the same Java file, that other you compare which one is and another class should extend uh, this particular interface. So here you can see the child interface is there, uh, child which is in the it is extending the parent interface, which is extending the main interface. So after that there is a final here this class, this is the sealed interface. So there should be another permitted class should be there in the same compilation unit, that is the final class 1, which is implementing the child interface. So like that this relationship is like maintained. So if you keep sealed interfaces, then a set of classes can only in the implement the particular interface. So that's how this relationship of in sealed interface. Now let us summarize this section in this lecture. In this lecture, we are seeing about sealed classes and sealed interfaces. We also seen some programs based on sealed classes and interfaces. And these sealed classes are used to uh, control over the inheritance, so that we can provide only a set of interfaces to only to a set of interfaces or set of classes only to do the inheritance. And one more thing it is that all the classes should be in the same module. For now up to Java 17 it is compulsory that all the other classes which are permitted should be in the same module. And this is it for this section. Thank you for watching this lecture.